Good morning all. Today we are going to see Operating System Unit 1 Session 8. In previous topic we have covered types of operating system based on processors. Under that we have seen single processor system and multiprocessor system. Single processor systems are used in general purpose computers like laptops, systems, smart devices, smartphone devices and tabs, etc. Whereas multiprocessor systems are used at the server side systems. And we also seen types of operating system based on users, that is single user and can perform single task. And we also seen single user can perform multiple tasks and multi-user can perform multiple tasks. So single user can perform multiple tasks. Windows users are the best example for this, and multi-user and multitask Unix Linux operating systems are the best example for this. Today we are going to see some of the important types of operating system which are commonly used, and those are used, these systems are used in various types of fields. So let us see which are those different types of operating system. First type of operating system we'll see, that is batch operating system. So this batch operating system was the first operating system of second generation in early 1960s and 70s. So this system would accept the input from the user using punch cards. So what is this punch cards? So these punch cards would look like this, where it is nothing but a stiff paper type which contains digital data representation, which is used to program computers and would read and processed by computers. So in this batch operating system, it would accept the data from the user using punch cards. Punch cards are nothing but digital data representation which would be read and processed by the computers. So in these operating systems, the users don't interact directly with the computers. Okay, you can see in this diagram. So the users don't interact directly with the systems. So the users would give their input in a form of punch cards to the operator, and then the operator would group the similar inputs, similar processes, and then would input to the computer for further processing. So in this diagram you can see the user gives the input in a form of punch cards, okay, using the card readers and all, and then the operator would input it to the system, and also you would get the output, and that output would be printed. Okay, you can see the programmers brings card to 1401, okay, using punch cards. That is a way to bring the input to the system using punch cards. And in a B diagram you can see reads batch of jobs onto tape. As a batch of job means it would read the processes and it would store in the tape, and that would be carried out by operator. Operator carries out the tape which is stored the input in that, and would do the system processing, and you would get the output, and that output again will be sent by the operator for printing. So this was the process in the earlier batch operating system. So as I explained here, there are number of users. Okay, so the users would give the input in a form of punch cards. Okay, the number of users, and all these jobs or the processes, or we say input, will be given to the operator, and then the operator would decide which are the similar processes, similar jobs, and they would group that similar jobs into batches. So in this batch we find out similar jobs, processes, and that would be given to the computer for processing. Next. So let us revise those points. So it is a typical computer in 1960s and 70s. Was a large machine as you have seen in that diagram. Its processing was managed by a human operator. The users of batch operating system do not interact directly with the computer. Each user prepare his job on an offline device like punch cards, okay, and submits it to the computer operator. Then the operator would organize those various jobs from multiple users and input data and feed it into the system in a form of batches. Okay, to speed up processing, jobs with similar needs are batched together. See, the jobs with similar processes would batch together and run as a group and given to the computer. Thus, the programmers left their programs with the operator. Okay, so if the user wants to give the input, they would give that input, that program to the operator. But nowadays you can see how we write the user itself write the programs, and directly the input will be accepted by the computer. There is no third person required here between the user and the computer. So there is directly the interaction between the user and the computer, and directly the user alone can execute the programs. Jobs are run one after another. No job can be started until previous job is completed. Yes. So in this system, so one job will be executed first and then the next job will start. Okay. Unless the first job finishes its execution, then only the next job will be started. The operator then sorts program into batches with similar requirements. So what are the advantages of this type of operating system? Knows which job to process next. As in advance we'll come to know which are the jobs which are going to be processed, which is the first, which is the second. We'll come to know that. Can assign a specific time for a job. So when the computer is idle, it starts processing the batch, that is at night or at any free time. Yes. Once the input is fed into the computer using the punch cards, it would start processing okay, on a given time. Okay, it can be it does its jobs. Okay, no need the person to stand and wait there for output. Okay, it can be at night or any free time. Sharing of batch systems for multiple users. As multiple users can use this system, multiple users jobs processes are combined together and given for processing to the computer. Reduce setup time by batching similar jobs. As multiple users request, that is input jobs processes are batched together in a group, so it reduces setup time and at a time it executes one by one. So what can be the problem with these systems? Lack of interaction between the user and the job. Okay, as there is no direct interaction between the user and the process. Okay, so the user has to give that input in a form of punch cards to the operator. That's why there is no lack of interaction. CPU is often idle because the speeds of the mechanical input output device is slower than CPUs. Okay, speed is slow in this, and input, sometimes the CPU is also going to be idle because of this. Difficult to provide the desired priority. Okay, so difficult to provide the desired priority. Yes. So in between, if the user changes the input and all, okay, so that time it is very difficult to change it according to the user's priority. Again, it is a long process. So this batch operating system is very slow, very time consuming. It is going to take a lot of time to take the input, process it, and to show the output. So next type of operating system we'll see, that is multi-programming system. So in this diagram you can see there is a single program system and there is a multi-programming system. Okay, so in a single program system you can see at a time only one program can be executed, whereas in this multi-program system at a time many programs can be executed, and this is done by a single processor. because in every systems, in every general purpose system, we find out a single processor. Like in every laptop system, smartphone devices, there is a single processor system, and which is very important to be handled by the processor, how to execute the multi-programming system. So multi-programming is a technique to execute number of programs simultaneously by a single processor. In multi-programming, the number of processes reside in main memory at a time. The operating system picks and begins to execute one of the jobs in the main memory. If any input-output happened in a process, then CPU switches from that job to another job. Hence, CPU is not idle at any time. So, let us understand these 3 points with the help of an diagram. So, in this diagram you can see there is a secondary storage, there is a main memory and CPU. So, whatever has to be executed, everything has to be brought from secondary storage to main memory, and because main memory directly interacts with the CPU. So in this diagram you can see in main memory there are number of jobs which are for execution, and first the job A is assigned for CPU for execution. Okay, so first job A was assigned for CPU for execution, but the job A is now busy in executing the input output operation. Okay, so then the CPU will be idle because the job A was assigned to the CPU, and now job A is busy in executing input output operation. So this time the CPU will be idle. Okay, so when the CPU is idle, that time it will take the next process for execution. Now CPU is assigned to job B for execution for time being, because job A is busy in executing input output operation. When the job A finishes its execution, then again the job A will be given the CPU for execution. Then for time being, the job will be executed by the CPU. Then even there is also a job C which is waiting. Okay, so job A is not utilizing the CPU time here because it is busy in using input output operation. Hence the CPU starts executing another job B, and this states that CPU will never be idle and utilizes it properly. So CPU should be utilized properly, it should be never be idle. Okay, so when a process or job requests input output to use, the CPU time is assigned to another process. You can see here last point. Multiprogramming increases CPU utilization by organizing jobs so that CPU always has one to execute. So the advantages of multiprogramming: CPU is not idle, increases CPU utilization leading to better performance. Okay, so we have seen this point with the help of that diagram where our CPU was not idle even if the process was busy in executing input output. For time being, the CPU was given to some another process. Increases throughput, as because of this even the performance of the CPU will increase and also the response from the system will be fast. User feels that many programs are allocated to CPU almost simultaneously, as many programs are executing at a time. So the user feels that all programs are executed at a time. And disadvantage: CPU scheduling is required. Okay, so you need here to decide for which job, for which process to give the CPU for execution, and when the process moves to output, which process has to be taken for execution. So this has to be decided using the CPU scheduling. That is, it is a nothing but a set of algorithms which has to be applied to select the processes for execution. Next is, to accommodate many jobs in memory, memory management is required, as to bring the processes or data, means whichever has to be executed, everything has to be brought from secondary memory to main memory, and for that you need here Memory management. So these are the two types of operating system we have seen, batch operating system and multi-programming operating system. In next topic, we'll see the other different types of operating system. Thank you.